Hi! So today I wanted to do a video on my Dendrobium nobiles, and I have several of them here with me today. Some of them are in bloom and some of them are not in bloom or in bud, and I think I'll go over a little bit also about the reasons why the ones that are not in bud are not in bud. So I watched a video from Brad's greenhouse a long time ago when I first purchased my Dendrobium nobile, and I got those, I got all my nobiles, I believe, from Trader Joe's. They did not have any label on them, so they're just no ID orchids, but I've had many of them for over a year now, and this winter I actually put most of them through a winter rest. Some of them I wasn't too sure about whether or not they could be able to rebloom, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But I wanted to show you guys my nobiles. I did have success with quite a few of them. So this one, I am super excited about this one. I did not even know I purchased something like this. It's really pretty. It is a darker magenta or fuchsia color. It is starting to open right now and the buds look promising. They are really big. And here's the whole plant. I potted it in my deli container and I hang them up because they are so tall and top heavy that they will just not sit by themselves. And that is my purple one. I have a sort of white one here. I think this one I could call white. So this one, I did not realize the flowers are so huge. Look at the flowers compared to my hand. And I think this one sort of disappointed me in the fact that a few days ago when it first started to open, it was green and purple. And for some reason, the green was lost and it just developed the white. So it is no longer green, it's just white. The flowers are beautiful though. I mean, other than the fact that I was really excited about getting a green one and did not get one. But it's really pretty and it's huge. I have some more buds over here that have not opened yet. And it is slightly fragrant. I think I've had this one for almost 2 years now. I bought it when it was in bloom and I was able to rebloom this. So that's my second blooming one. Let's see. Oh, see, I'm having a hard time with them because they are so top heavy. Hold on one moment while I sort my stuff out. So this one, it's really hard sitting down when I'm doing this. So this one I did not get a chance to repot, and also I got lazy. So I think really it's just me being lazy. But I was able to rebloom it on one cane. And it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, more than 10 blooms. I won't bore you with the details, but one of the kings bloomed and the other kings did not bloom, unfortunately. The pseudobulbs are really plump because it is currently potted in peat moss rather than the bark that I usually pot my, my dendrobiums in. And so the pseudobulbs are plump even through the winter rest. Now, next up, I have this semi-sad looking orchid. I recently repotted this one, and I can tell because it's very loose in its container. And I did not realize that this one has buds. So that is the reason why I repotted it, is because I didn't realize it has buds and they just started developing. So this one spent about 3 months in this in the winter rest because it just didn't show any buds until right now. And there aren't that many buds that I could see. And the pseudobulbs are a lot thinner. It's because I didn't water it for a very long time. I just missed it a little bit, but no, really like nothing intense in terms of watering. So those are my blooming ones, and I have my non-blooming ones right here, and I'll tell you guys the reasons why I think that they so the reason why I think that they are not going to bloom and why they didn't bloom. I put these guys through the winter rest, and unfortunately they did not bloom. I'm guessing the reason why is because when winter started about a few months ago, probably around, I would say November, when I started to give these guys a winter rest, these orchids here had a lot of keikis on them. Unfortunately, because I did not remove the keikis when I put it through the winter rest, or remove the keikis before putting it through the winter rest, it put all of its energy into the keikis, and it just didn't really have the energy for any blooms. The main canes are really dry, and the keikis are really fat. So you can see here that keiki is really fat compared to this main one. I have several keikis, and I did remove one keiki from here months ago, probably in the summer, because I wanted to just test it out and see what happens. But obviously it still had too many keikis for it to bloom, and of course this plant is small, it's not very strong, so it was just putting all of its energy into the keikis. I have another one, I'm gonna lay this one down. I have another one that's very sad looking, and you can see this cane is extremely long. I need to hold it up like that, but you can see that this one has 3 keikis already on its cane, and this developed before it went into the winter rest. So, and of course there's more keiki here. There's keikis all over the place. There's just so many keikis. And the problem with having so many keikis is that it spends all of its energy on its keikis. There's just, look at this cane. There's just no energy for any sort of blooms, and I think this is one of the reasons why it's not blooming. I have, what is it? I have another one that I'm gonna grab for you guys because I don't have it here, but this particular one, I actually did not put it through a winter rest at all, so I'll go and grab that one really quickly. So look at this pathetic looking Dendrobium here. The reason why I didn't put it through the winter rest is because it's so pathetic looking. I knew it would have no energy to bloom at all, and the reason why is because during the summer, this orchid put out about 3 keikis, and for some unknown reason, this particular orchid was very prone to rot. So every single keiki that it had, when it was like this tall, it started dying off, which was really upsetting for me because I would hang it upside down. I would try pretty much everything, and you can see, look at all these roots from the dead keikis. So it was just at the end of its rope, and then it put out its last keiki, and you can see that this one is the only one that somehow survived the rot. And I did not remove this keiki yet, even though the roots are really long, and the reason why is I'm not sure if there are any more roots from the mama plants down here that could sustain this plant. And I'm thinking about removing the keiki so I could perhaps save this plant, but I'm not so sure. So I didn't put this plant through the winter rest because it would probably die, or it would probably do nothing except be sadder than before. So that is why I didn't put this one through the winter rest. And I'll just talk a little bit about its care. I put all of my Dendrobium nobiles outside, and the reason why is because I saw Brad's greenhouse video, and I'll put a little link to it. You guys probably have seen it. It was a while back. He did an experiment where he had 2 of his Dendrobium nobiles. One he left inside the greenhouse, and the other one he took outside in direct sunlight. He hung it outside, he watered it every single day, and it was a lighter green than his orchid, his nobile that was inside the greenhouse. And it was a lot larger. It also was the one that bloomed, and the one that was inside the greenhouse that was in a more shaded area, it was a darker color, and it also made more keikis. So I took all my orchids outside, and I put them in direct sunlight for most of the day, and they sat there from about March till November. They sat in direct sunlight, and the leaves were a lighter color. Of course, it's been really gloomy lately, so the leaves are a little bit darker, but I wanted it to get as much sun as possible, and I watered it every single day. I took a hose and I just hosed them down for a few seconds or so every single day. And it was really, really hot in the summer. It went up to about 110 degrees on some days, and it was also very, very dry too. I had a misting system going, but it wasn't that fantastic. I just broke off, I just broke off a little petal. But yeah, I had a misting system going on, but only some of the orchids got the mist, and then the other orchids didn't get the mist. It wasn't that fantastic in terms of misting, and I still had to water every day. It was really dry. It was about 15% to 30% humidity most of the time, and let me tell you, it was like so freaking dry. But it didn't do like anything bad in terms of low humidity. Like none of my orchids got like intense pleating in the leaves. Some of my Miltoniopsis, you can see a little bit of pleating, but it wasn't that bad. So the low humidity didn't bother it as much as I thought it would. And of course, I just followed Brad's direction. I left it outside, bright direct sunlight, and they can handle quite a bit of sunlight. I mean, you can see that none of the leaves really had any sunburn at all, and they just did really, really well. I've noticed that the ones that I potted in bark tends to dry out a lot quicker, and also the kings were a lot more shriveled. But the ones that were potted in peat moss, fortunately, did really, really well, and they were all the pseudobulbs or all the kings were really plump. So I'm not sure if next time I repot my orchids that I want to pot the nobiles in peat moss. I might try keeping one of them in peat moss and seeing how that affects them, and then versus one that's potted in bark. So a bark one versus a peat moss one. I can tell already that the ones that are in peat moss are more plump, but we'll see what happens. They did survive throughout the winter and they did not get rot. Imagine that. So that is pretty much it for my Dendrobium nobiles. I just wanted to show you guys because they are so pretty. I think that I might get some more at the orchid show in San Francisco. We will see. They do sell for like 40 bucks over there, so I'm not really sure. But they, I'll keep an eye out for any cheap ones. Bye, thanks for watching.